In this video, we will work on definite integral involving trigonometric functions. So we are asked to evaluate integrate from 0 to pi over 2, 1 over 1 plus sine x dx. So these questions involve the use of trigonometric rules. So if you're not familiar with those trigonometric rules, I would suggest you not to continue. So the first trigonometric rules that we are going to use is cosine square x divided by 2 plus sine square x divided by 2 is equal to 1. So basically, when these two arguments or these two angles are the same, then we can use the rule cosine square a plus sine square a is equal to 1. The second rule that we need to use is 2 cosine x divided by 2 times sine x divided by 2 is equal to sine x. So this makes use of the double angle formula. 2 cosine a times sine a is equal to sine 2a. So right now the questions here becomes 1 over cosine square x divided by 2 plus sine square x divided by 2 plus 2 cosine x divided by 2 sine x divided by 2. So how do we get this? So the 1 is replaced by cosine square x divided by 2 plus sine square x divided by 2 here. And the sine x is replaced by 2 cosine x divided by 2 times sine x divided by 2. Then we will use a algebraic identity. So this is a squared plus b squared plus 2ab, which becomes a plus b bracket squared. The next step that we have to do is we are going to divide the numerator and the denominator both by cosine square x divided by 2. So for the numerator, when 1 divided by cosine square x divided by 2, we will have secant square x divided by 2. So it's a bit tricky in the denominator. So we see that this whole thing divided by cosine x divided by 2 square is actually cosine x divided by 2 plus sine x divided by 2, this divided by cosine x divided by 2, and then the whole thing square. So cosine x divided by 2 divided by cosine x divided by 2, then we will have the 1. Sine x divided by 2 divided by cosine x divided by 2, we will have tangent x divided by 2. So that is why this, when it divided by cosine x divided by 2 whole thing squared, then we will have 1 plus tangent x divided by 2 bracket squared. The next thing that we realize is secant square x divided by 2 dx is equal to 2 times differentiate 1 plus tangent x divided by 2. So right now, the whole thing becomes to integrate from 0 to pi over 2, 1 over a square dA, which is, so we keep the 2, and then when we integrate a to the power of negative 2, we have negative 1 over a. Therefore, we have 2 negative 1 over 1 plus tangent x divided by 2. And we put down the upper limit and lower limit. Then we substitute pi over 2 and 0 into the formula. So we have 2 times negative 1 divided by 1 plus tangent pi over 2 divided by 2. So pi over 2 divided by 2 is pi over 4. Tangent pi over 4 is 1. Negative 1 divided by 1 plus 1 is negative 1 half. Negative 1 half multiplied by 2 is negative 1. So when we substitute pi over 2 here, the first term that we have is negative 1. And then we substitute 0 in it. So negative 1 divided by 1 plus tangent 0. Tangent 0 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. Negative 1 divided by 1 is negative 1. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. So we have negative 1 minus negative 2, which is 1.